Welcome back, guys and gals. This is Neighborly Homestead. My name is Tim. We got something a little bit different today we're going to try to do. We've been blessed with an opportunity to be able to be a part of something that not everybody gets to do, and I know it's just another chainsaw in some people's eyes. But we've got a saw that doesn't belong to us in the yard, and as you saw in our last video, I did do some running and reviewing and cutting with this saw, but this saw belongs to Brandon Hoade. Many of you know him in the comments and the chats of the live streams, and he's a viewer and a subscriber to a lot of our Firewood channels. We appreciate having Brandon along. But he sent this Husqvarna 450 around. Started out with Craig's Cords to Coals. Craig did some videos on it, and then from there it went to Firewood in the Field. I went down and Matt got to run it and do some comparison with it. My last video, I just wanted to run it and get a feel for the saw, tell you what I thought of it. It's a nice little saw. Today's going to be a little bit different, because what I want to do is I want to do a little comparison. And a bunch of you that follow along know that this video has been coming, or at least been wanting to see it, I think. Because a while back over the summer here, I purchased a Husqvarna 550XPG. Now I know these two saws are not, I don't want to say they're not close, not comparable, because they are. They're both in the 50cc class. The 550 is a pro saw. The 450 is like a farm and ranch saw. I believe they called it a 450 Rancher. So we're going to run them and compare the two. I've got an ash log here and the grapple up in the air we can cut on and see how it goes. I'll give you some details on the saws. Hopefully my numbers aren't too awful bad. If I am wrong, don't criticize me too bad in the comments. But the Husky 450, I believe, came out around 2004. And they ran that until about 2013 or so. And then they updated it, and I think the original was a 450 Rancher, and then this is a 450 with an X-Torque engine in it. So they're 50.2 cc and 3.2 horsepower. At the end of the video, I may do a little run over or a run down the specs of both saws on the computer, but we'll see. The 550 is 50.1 cc's, and that is 4 horsepower. I believe they came out with the 550 XP around 2013, which would have been when they updated the engine on the 450. And then I'm not sure on the year, but they updated the XP series, like the 550, the 562, and other models. They updated them to the Mark II. I myself am not that familiar with Husqvarna saws to know what the differences are from the original version to the Mark II. But like I said, the biggest noticeable difference with the two saws, just looking at them, obviously the plastics are a bit newer. The caps are different. The 550 has the flip caps that screw in, which are nice. The 450 has the screw-in caps, which I like screw-in caps because they don't leak. These ones are nice on this particular saw because they don't get tight after running the saw, where a lot of like the Echos and some of the Stihls with the older screw-in caps, you always had to get a screwdriver or a scrunch or something to get them open. This one you don't. The 450, for not being a pro saw, I'm surprised, has a decompression button. The 550 being a pro saw, did I say that wrong? The 450, for not being a pro saw, has a decompression button. The 550 does not, which I was kind of surprised at that. I don't really care because I don't use them anyways. But let me show you the saws up close. So here is the 450. You can see the decompression button up here on the top. They're pretty much laid out about the same. You know, even the clips for the top plastic are in the same spot. They both had the primer bulb. On-off switch is the same. See the 550, no decomp button. And the 450 has the decomp button. On-off switch. Sight glass on the fuel tank. Right there is the same. Now, both saws have an 18-inch bar and chain. The 450 has a Forester bar. The 550 has an Oregon VersaCut bar. They're both 18-inch. Now, Brandon also sent me 2 brand new Dukes chains. I've never ran a Dukes chain. Brand new, out of the box. I have not sharpened them. They're factory grind. So we're going to see how they do. So this will be as close of a comparison as you could possibly get between these two saws. Oh, the other big noticeable difference, 450 only has a single bar stud. The 550 has a double bar stud, and those are captive bar nuts. So they're attached to the cover, which is nice. Show you this log. We're basically about 12-inch diameter. A really nice log. This is, in fact, one of the logs that fell across my driveway. So it's a good test piece. I already have it pre-marked from the day that I cut it up to get it out of the driveway. This end here is a little bit smaller, about 9.5 inch, but it's going to get bigger pretty quick because there's a knot there, and then the log gets a little bit bigger behind that. So the first thing I might do is go to the far end, and I might just start cutting some pieces off. I might make, I don't know, I'm going to say 2 cuts per saw, cut a couple blocks. I'll set the camera up so you're kind of getting an end view of the log, see the saw going through. We'll try to do some time comparison of the two. Then the other thing I'll do is I'll probably come down to this end, and I'll just do some blocking up and down and get some time cuts, just let the saw pull through. So that's gonna be fun. I've been looking forward to this for a while. So but all right, let's get to it. I'm going to start with the 450. And then we'll go on to the 550. I apologize if there's any wind noise in the mic. It is a little breezy today, about 25 degrees out. A little bit breezy, it's a little brisk. So All right, guys, so you saw that. Ran the 450 first, the 550 second. First cut, I just let it drop through. Second cut, I've dogged in a little bit and then out the bottom. I just went back to the video footage and watched. I think I confirm this when I do the look at it on the computer. It looked like the 450 was at 12 seconds on the first cut and about 8 seconds on the second cut. And the 550, I think, was right about 8 seconds on both cuts. So we're going to go to the other end now and just do some quick blocking back and forth, up and down, whatever, with both saws and see how they compare that way. And then I'll probably here at some point, once I get short enough, I'll drop this log, finish cutting it up, we'll go grab something different. I got another log in mind that we can use, so stay tuned. guys, you saw it. I guess I got to go back to the camera or back to the video footage and see which saw was faster on those kind of cuts. All right, guys, I came in the garage to review that video footage just so I could tell you what the times were. Now, when I edit this video, I will put the times on the screen. So on the second end of the log where I did 4 cuts with each saw, the 450, so both saws I did 2 cuts down, 1 cut up, and then a final cut going down in the log. The 450, the first cut down was 13 seconds. The second cut down was 11 seconds. The third cut, which was an up cut, was 10 seconds. And then the final down cut was 12 seconds. Now, the 550, I did the same pattern on the cuts. So the first down cut was 9 seconds. Second down cut was 11 seconds. The third cut, which was the up cut, was 10 seconds. And the final cut was down was 9 seconds. So the interesting part is the second cut for both saws was exactly the same at 11 seconds. The up cut was the exact same at 10 seconds, but the 550 on the first down cut and the last down cut, they were both 9 seconds, where the 450's cuts were 13 and 12 seconds. So kind of interesting how this all is playing out. But we're going to go out and finish cutting up that log. And then I got another log in mind I'm going to go grab, and we'll do some more hacking on that. So stick around. Alright guys, the next specimen here, if you can tell by the bark, get you in a spot here where it's, that there is a black locust log, and it is, if you don't count the bark, it's about a 12-inch log. You can see there, and we'll show you the other end. It's a little bit smaller, about 11 that way, 11 and a quarter that way. So this one I'm not going to make cookies. This is also pre-marked. I'm going to cut a couple rounds with each saw. Come down to the bigger end. I'll cut one with each saw, drop the log, cut the rest, and then we'll give you a review. Alright guys, you did not get to see the last 4 pieces from the log that was in the grapple get cut. Got a phone call and it cut the video and I didn't realize it. Anyways, I cut those 2 cuts with the 450 and I did this one with the 550, which was kind of nasty. Big old knot. And look at that grain in that thing. This stuff is as hard as a rock. Plus that's on a warm day, hard as a rock. Stuff's frozen right now, which makes it even worse. But all in all, I have to say the Duke's chains seem to have held up very nicely. Still very, very sharp on the corner, cat claw sharp. Yeah. Well, guys and gals, let me know what you guys think in the comments of this comparison. I mean, in my mind, this couldn't have been a more fair comparison as far as bar and chain combo, 50cc saw class. Both saws were filled up with 90 octane non-ethanol fuel with a 40 to 1 mix of Echo Red Armor. Had about a 12-inch ash log to compare it in, which is good cutting wood. It's hard, also frozen. And then this 12-inch black locust, which is even harder. Yeah, I think this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. I was looking forward to it and I just kept playing it over and over in my head how I was going to go about it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. How did I do for showcasing the 450 farm and ranch saw to the 550 XPG Pro saw? Like I said, I might show you some stats or some comparison online. If I can come up with something on the computer, I'll show you the specs on both saws. My first initial reaction is I'm surprised at the 450, which I think everybody has been. I will say the biggest thing that I notice, it is a little bit lower powered compared to the 550. But the biggest thing is the 550 is a faster running saw, faster chain speed, faster RPMs or higher RPMs. The 450 is a little bit lower. Like I said, I'll try to pull up some specs on the computer and compare that. But all in all, if you were looking to buy a 50cc saw, I think just about anybody could get by with a 450. The 550 is a great saw. Basically what it's going to come down to is a little bit of speed in the 550 versus the 450 and the price. The 450 is still available through saw suppliers right now. It is basically 500 bucks, and the 550 is about $720. So, and we are in January of 2026, just for reference. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think. Brandon, I appreciate you sending this all around. I'm hoping to do a little more cutting with it before I have to send it on to its next user or demonstrator. But yeah, the chains held up good. Honestly, I think I like the 18-inch bar on the 450 better than the 20. And maybe it's just because it's a new chain. It seemed like it cut better. The 550, there's times I wish it had a 20. Just because being as tall as I am and bending down. But usually for a lemon saw, you're not really bending down on the ground that often anyways. You're kind of, you know, cutting up in the air a little bit more. Obviously this is far from lemon, the wood that we cut today, but I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you guys like this kind of content. Though everything we do isn't firewood related, a lot of it is. So I think that's about all I got. I will post links down in the description to Matt's channel, Firewood in the Field, and Craig's channel, Craig's Cords to Coals, and a link to Brandon's channel or page, even though he doesn't do videos. But you can follow along with some of the posts that he does with pictures and stuff of just things happening on the farm. But anyways, guys, like I said, appreciate you watching. Thanks for clicking on this video. Leave me a comment, and good Lord willing, I will catch you guys on the next one. We'll see ya.